Hey, ladies and gents, it's SizzDwiz here with a look at the Mythic Legion's Deluxe Dwarf Legion Builder. So let's slip him out of his collector-friendly packaging here real quick. Quick note, this is what the back of the packaging looked like. All this wonderful art by Nate Birch. And then here is the bio, which I'm not going to read. So, but you can stop it and you can read it if you'd like. Here are the other figures, the other Legion Builder figures pictured along the left-hand side of the packaging. Here's the front of the packaging. And as always, Nate Birch did a great job with that. But let's get to the really good stuff. So secured inside with these two twist ties. I thought about making a clothing line for action figure collectors, and we call the ties twist ties as a nod. We all know action figure collectors. Here's the shell, put that aside. Here is the insert, shows that this belongs to the Leodicius, Order of Leodicius, and then that he's a Deluxe Dwarf Legion Builder, but he's not a named character, so he doesn't have an actual bio. Here's the little informative thing saying, loosen your joints, use hair dryer or warm water. I recommend you do that. I'm not going to do it today, so I'm kind of a hypocrite. But there he is without his horns on. And I'm guessing that his horns are going to be in this big bag of accessories. We have his, or at least most of his hammer here. But, and I'm guessing the other part of that is going to be in the bag of accessories as well. So, his horns are, I'm guessing, not in because they don't want them scraping against the interior of the package. But here they are. Get this nice bone color to them. And just screw these guys in. You can configure these in different ways. You can swivel them for, you know, whatever it is, whatever unique look you'd like your actual figure to have. But I'm guessing most people will just have them like that. Here's the other part of the hammerhead. So that plugs in right there. Some assembly required. This is a very handsome, classically sculpted hammer. Blunt force trauma, I guess, is a dwarf's bread and butter. So he always want to get a hammer with them. And then here's a shield. It's a monochromatic, single colored shield, but I imagine a lot of people are going to paint that up to make their Dwarven legions look different. You also have this very cool battle axe that we've seen before. It's got all these cool looking, I don't know, is that relief carved into it, filigree or the like. So battle axe, battle hammer, and shield are what he comes with. He also comes with this, it's a leather look to it, but it's, you know, the belt that you can put across his chest or across his waist. And then the pauldrons, which big chunky little guy like this needs his pauldrons, because I think that helps out the silhouette. But you can also configure those as you'd like. A lot of times when I'm putting pauldrons in, I like to preheat the figure. But I immediately like that look. Even if it's just one pauldron and it's asymmetrical, I think I'm going to like this particular Dwarf Legion Builder with his pauldrons on. And this is a part where I can get his pauldrons on and in without the heat, but I think the heat helps a lot because it requires a little elbow grease there. Well, pop his horns back in. He's a rather handsome looking fellow. I think the silhouette is a big part of his appeal. Just that stocky chunkiness to him. Now, thing about Legion builders is that they don't come with a lot in the way of paint applications, and this one is no exception. That's to keep the costs down. And so I'm putting his little belt on. You can also pop him in half and put the belt on, but I'm going to just slip it on there. But you can see the details of the sculpt and the folds, that heavily armored look. I like this belt, which we've seen before, but I'm going to do what I think most people will do and touch this guy up with a little paint, because he just seems kind of plain, especially given the intricacy of his sculpt. And while that's to keep the cost down, and we do have some hits of paint, like this gold here, a different colored helmet, and the horns, I just think that he'd really benefit from getting that, Sharpie, the metallic Sharpie. I would say bronze, silver, and gold are my favorite metallic Sharpie colors. And then coloring each and every one of those rivets in. That's kind of fun to do. It takes about 10 minutes. And it adds pop, and it adds, personalization to these Legion builder figures. So if you want more than one, that doesn't look right. If you want more than one, that you could have that sort of individualization to it. So where do you stow your battle axe when you're not carrying it? Is that on your belt? Does that go on your belt? I know you're definitely not going to be able to stow the giant hammer, but that's what he looks like wielding the battle axe. And then I guess if you want, you can add a dagger or a sword or something, which would seem to be more appropriate with that belt there. Or then you can go for, like I said, the massive blunt force trauma hammer. And let's see how it's fits there pretty snugly. Or you could have him be a dual weapon wielder there. He's a little bit choked up on the axe, but can you imagine a stocky little fully armored guy coming at you? You don't see his facial features. It's just a beard in armor and coming at you. That's pretty intimidating look there. So and then I'm just imagining that the kind of love that the dwarves get and the community that they have in the Cabal, that they're going to just paint this guy up a million different ways, pop and swap, put different heads on there. But it's a very inexpensive way to really bolster your legions. And I know that the dwarf community, they're not dwarves, but they're fans of dwarves. They're one of the most vocal communities for sure in all of Mythic Legion's fandom. And I'm glad that they get this guy to have fun with and to bolster their legions with. I'm going to put him up next to the Deluxe Legion Builder skeleton so you can see how he measures up height-wise. And I'm also going to put him up next to my Goblin, which I touched up with the metallic Sharpie there. That one the shield was also one color, and I just stuck some accents on there, some metallic accents, and then I also punched up his armor like I mentioned. So that's what he looks like next to a Goblin. They share some pieces and the silhouette as well. But you can see what just changing the weapons and just changing the head does to the figure, as well as, like I said, making sure that these little rivets are colored differently, and there's a lot of pop to it. I really like these little figures, and I also like the fact that they're available for less than the regular figure, so that the fans can exercise their creativity. And I can't wait to see how many different iterations we see of this guy. But just the way he is there, hanging out in the background of your display, supporting some of your more heavy hitters. This is an awesome addition to the Legion builders specifically, and the Mythic Legions line in general. It's Dwiz, signing out.